Hi everyone, hope you all are doing great. Today's story is a much requested one from one of our viewers. It is a fable about three pigs who built three different houses of different materials. The Three Little Pigs is also a folk tale that has made its way into popular culture. Printed versions date back to the 1840s, but the story itself is thought to be much older. Many versions of the Three Little Pigs have been recreated and modified over the years, sometimes making the wolf a kind character. We have tried to recreate one of those versions, which we like the most. We would also like to share good news that from this story onwards, we would be giving the meanings of new vocabulary in the story at the end, which would be helpful for the kids. So now, let's rush into the story, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notifications if you are new to our channel. The Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time, there was an old mother pig who had three little pigs and not enough food to feed them. So, when they were old enough, she sent them out into the world to seek their fortunes. The first little pig was very lazy. He didn't want to work at all, and he built his house out of straw. The second little pig worked a little bit harder, but he was also a bit frivolous, and he built his house out of sticks. Then they sang and danced and played together the rest of the day.
Ha ha ha!
Laughed the first little pig when he saw the third little pig hard at work.
Ho ho ho!
Laughed the second little pig.
Come along and play with us,
he called. But the busy little pig did not pause. Slap, slosh, slap went the bricks on mortar. The two little pigs laughed at him and went to their homes, dancing to the tunes of their fiddle and flute. The third little pig worked hard all day and built his house with bricks. It was a sturdy house complete with a fine fireplace and chimney. It looked like it could withstand the strongest of winds. The next day, a wolf happened to pass by the lane where the three little pigs lived, and he saw the straw house and he smelt the piglet inside. He thought the piglet would make a mighty fine meal, and his mouth began to water. So he knocked on the door and said,
little pig, let me in, let me in.
But the little pig saw the wolf's big paws through the keyhole, so he answered back,
No, 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 not by the hairs on my chinny chin chin.
Then the wolf showed his teeth and said,
Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down.
So he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down. The wolf opened his jaws very wide and bit down as hard as he could. But the first little pig escaped and ran away to hide with the second little pig. wolf continued down the lane, and he passed by the second house made of sticks. And he saw the house, and he smelt the little pigs inside, and his mouth began to water as he thought about the fine dinner they would make. So he knocked on the door and said,
Little pigs, let me in, let me in.
But the little pigs saw the wolf's pointy ears through the keyhole. So they answered back,
No, 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 not by the hairs on our chinny chin chin.
So the wolf showed his teeth and said,
Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down.
So he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down. The wolf was greedy and he tried to catch both pigs at once. But he was too greedy and got neither. His big jaws clamped down on nothing but air, and the two little pigs scrambled away as fast as their little hooves could carry them. The wolf chased them down the lane and he almost caught them. But they made it to the brick house and slammed the door before the wolf could catch them. The three little pigs were very frightened, for they knew the wolf wanted to eat them. And that was very, very true. The wolf hadn't eaten all day, and he had worked up a large appetite, chasing the little pigs around. And now he could smell all three of them inside, and he knew that the three little pigs would make a lovely feast. So the wolf knocked on the door and said,
Little pigs, let me in, let me in.
But the little pigs saw the wolf's narrow eyes through the keyhole. So they answered back,
No, 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 not by the hairs on our chinny chin chin.
So the wolf showed his teeth and said,
Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down.
Well, he huffed and he puffed and he huffed, and he huffed and he puffed, but he could not blow the house down. At last he was so out of breath that he couldn't huff and he couldn't puff anymore. So he stopped to rest and thought a bit. But this was too much. The wolf danced about with rage and swore he would come down the chimney and eat up the little pigs for his supper. But while he was climbing onto the roof, the little pig made up a blazing fire and put on a big pot full of water to boil. Then, just as the wolf was coming down the chimney, the little piggy pulled off the lid and plop! In fell the wolf into the scalding water. Somehow, he managed to climb up the chimney and escaped into the woods and never came back again to trouble the little pigs. And the three little pigs lived together happily ever after.
Moral of the story. The primary moral lesson learnt from the story is that hard work and dedication pay off.
I hope you all enjoy this story and like the primary moral lesson behind it. But there are numerous other morals too, which we can actually learn from this. So, we will be coming up with those hidden life lessons, which will motivate you in the coming episode. Till then, take care, bye bye, and don't forget to like, share, and comment.